I never thought of myself as the kind of guy who would end a relationship over a trip. But looking back, it wasn't just about the trip. It was about everything it represented. It all started a few weeks ago when Rose casually mentioned her plans. "Babe, it's going to be amazing," she had said, her eyes glowing with excitement. Just me and the girls, relaxing and letting loose. I knew her friends well enough to understand what letting loose actually meant. Drinking until sunrise, flirting for free drinks, and making choices they'd regret the next morning. They weren't bad people, just reckless. But Rose? She always reassured me she was different. At first, I kept my thoughts to myself. I trusted her. At least, I tried to, even if I didn't completely trust the influence of her friends. But as the days passed, things started to shift. What began as a simple spa retreat soon turned into a beach getaway. Then, a few days later, Miami seemed like a more exciting choice. I brushed off my unease, until one evening, over dinner, she dropped a bombshell. "Hey, babe, you remember Lucy's boyfriend, Kevin? Well, he's coming now, and he's bringing some of his friends." I set my fork down, my stomach tightening. "Wait, I thought this was supposed to be a girls' trip." She shrugged. "Yeah, well, plans kind of changed, but it'll still be fun." I studied her for a moment. "So, I guess I'll come along too, then." Her face shifted. First a hesitation, then disappointment. "Babe, it's my friend group. You never really enjoy hanging out with them. I don't think you'd have a great time." "Maybe not," I admitted, "but I'd still like to be there." She sighed. "I don't know, Jacob. I just feel like you'd be out of place. Maybe you should sit this one out." I leaned back, crossing my arms. "So let me get this straight. You expect me to be okay with you going on a trip with a bunch of guys, while I just stay here and wait?" Her posture stiffened. "You don't trust me?" she asked, her voice defensive. I exhaled slowly. "You're not exactly giving me a reason to. You've been dodgy about this whole thing. So, tell me, who exactly are Kevin's friends?" She hesitated, avoiding eye contact. That pause was all the confirmation I needed. "Rose," I said, my voice firm. "Is your ex one of them?" She let out a breath and nodded. "Yeah, but it's not a big deal. We're all cool now, Jacob. It's been years. He's with someone else, and I have you." I folded my arms tighter. "And yet, you didn't think to invite your actual boyfriend?" She rolled her eyes. "Because it's my friend group. You never have fun with them. It would just be awkward if you came." A dry laugh escaped me. "Oh, but having your ex there along with a bunch of random guys isn't awkward." "You're overthinking this," she muttered. "Kevin and his friends just want to party. It's not like I'm going for them." I shook my head, my patience wearing thin. "You do realize how this looks, right? And the fact that you're being weird about me coming. You see how that makes me feel?" Her expression hardened. "I don't need your permission, Jacob. You don't own me." I kept my voice steady. "This isn't about ownership. It's about respect. Would you be okay if I went on a trip like this with my ex?" She scoffed. "I wouldn't care, because I trust you." I met her gaze, my jaw tightening. "Well, right now, I don't trust you, because you won't even consider letting me come." That was the beginning of the end. Over the next few days, Rose and her friends painted me as the controlling boyfriend. They called me insecure, toxic, accused me of overreacting. But deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't trying to control her. I was simply recognizing red flags before they destroyed me. And yet, for some reason, I stayed. Maybe I needed to see if she would actually go through with it, if she would truly disregard my feelings. Then, the night before her trip arrived, she stood in our room, packing her bags, chatting excitedly on the phone with Lucy about their plans. I just watched her, feeling a slow, burning anger build inside me. When she finally hung up, I spoke. "Rose." She glanced up. "What?" I took a deep breath. "When you come back, I won't be here. Just thought you should know." Her expression shifted, her eyes widening in shock, like a deer caught in headlights. "Wait, what?" Her face fell. "You're seriously ending things over a trip?" I shook my head. "No. I'm ending things because this trip made me see exactly who you are." She folded her arms, her voice turning sharp. "And who is that?" I met her gaze, my tone unwavering. "Someone who doesn't respect my feelings. Someone who refuses to acknowledge why this whole situation is a problem. You're choosing a vacation with random guys, including your ex, over our relationship, and I deserve better." She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I didn't stop. "Go on your trip. Have fun. But when you come back, don't expect me to be here." She scoffed, trying to mask her emotions with indifference. "I don't think you're actually serious. But whatever. If you're going to be this insecure, maybe it's for the best." I nodded, grabbing a bag and throwing a few things into it. "Yeah, it is." She watched me for a moment before shaking her head in disbelief. "This is so controlling, Jacob. You're just pretending to leave to make a point. We'll go to therapy and deal with your trust issues when I get back." She rolled her eyes, letting out another scoff. "You'll still be here when I return." I didn't argue. I didn't need to. I just kept packing. And once she walked out that door, I packed the rest of my things and left her life for good. She tried reaching out while she was on her trip, then her friends. And believe it or not, even her ex. They all had the same excuse. Nothing happened. Nothing would have happened. But I didn't care anymore. I blocked them all because, at the end of the day, Rose only cared about what she wanted. She never compromised, never considered my feelings, never respected me. And that wasn't going to change. So I did what anyone should in my situation. I moved on. There was no reason to stick around and see if my suspicions were right. Rose's perspective. Hey, it's Rose. And this is my side of what happened after everything fell apart. I never actually thought he would leave. I figured Jacob was just being dramatic, trying to make a statement. He was always the serious type, the kind of guy who found meaning in everything. So when he broke up with me the night before my trip, I was convinced he was bluffing, that he was trying to scare me into staying. So I left anyway. And now I've come back to an empty apartment and a silent phone. I sank onto the couch, staring blankly at the floor as memories replayed in my mind. The trip, the drinks, the whispered conversations late at night. Him, my ex. I won't sit here and make excuses. I won't pretend I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I could say it wasn't planned, that it just happened, but that would be a lie. The truth is, in that moment, music pounding, alcohol numbing my thoughts, and the thrill of being the center of attention clouding my judgment, I didn't think about Jacob. I let the excitement take over, let nostalgia blur the lines between the past and present. Old memories crashed into new mistakes, and I gave in. And the worst part, Jacob was right. Now I have nothing, not even a boyfriend to feel guilty about betraying. I thought that when I got back, we could talk, that he'd be angry, hurt, but not gone. That wasn't who he was. Except when I walked through the door, his things were missing. No note, no message, just gone. I didn't realize how much of my life he filled until he wasn't in it anymore. At first, I texted him, "Hey, can we talk?" No response. I called, straight to voicemail. I tried again and again, but eventually I stopped because deep down I already knew. I made my choice. I chose a trip over him, over us, over everything we built together. And in the end, I did exactly what he was afraid of. And for what? For my ex? The guy who barely acknowledged me on the flight home? The one who offered nothing but distant nods and forced smiles. Like I hadn't just thrown away a real relationship for him. For a brief moment, I thought maybe this trip would bring us closer, that it actually meant something. But the second we landed, I knew the truth. To him, it was just a fling, a fun little escape. Nothing more. I had my fun for a weekend, and in return, I destroyed my future. Now, I sit in the emptiness Jacob left behind, finally understanding how much I took him for granted. He truly loved me. He fought for me. He saw the red flags in me that I refused to acknowledge in myself. And when I crossed the line, he did the one thing I never believed he would. He walked away. I just wish I had realized what I had before I lost it. But now it's too late. Because Jacob isn't answering. And deep down, I know he never will. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps the channel going, and I truly appreciate it. Hope you have an amazing and blessed day.